Hello everyone. So in this video tutorial, we are going to discuss about the mechanism of action of the mRNA vaccines against the SARS-CoV-2. And we will specifically be talking about the Moderna and Pfizer, which have been developed by BioNTech. In the previous video lecture, we talked about AstraZeneca, which is utilizing the DNA vaccine strategy. And we saw that how the S protein of the SARS-CoV-2 have been used for synthetically designing the DNA, and that DNA which has been synthetically designed to carry the information of this S protein, that how it has been integrated into the genome of the adenovirus of chimpanzee, and that is what is being administered into the people, right, for making them immune against this particular virus and the COVID-19 disease. Now in this particular lecture, we are going to specifically talk about the mRNA vaccines. So before we can understand that, let's just revise that what is the structure of the virus. As you can see, the structure of the virus, this virus is SARS-CoV-2, which is responsible for causing the current pandemic. And the SARS-CoV-2 stands for Severe Acute Respiratory Syndrome Coronavirus 2. Now, if you look at the structure of this virus, you will see these spike-like structures. These spike-like structures, they are made up of a protein which is known as the spike protein, or it is also known as the S protein, right? Now, these spike proteins are responsible for attaching to the host cell. So what I'm trying to say is that these spike proteins help the virus to attach to the host cell and ultimately gain an entry into it. So scientists have somehow targeted this spike protein by extracting its information in such a way that they have incorporated the information of the spike protein or the S protein into the vaccines, and these vaccines are being administered into the people, and which ultimately is leading to create a memory inside those people so that they already know about the virus, that how the virus is going to gain entry into the cells. So if the body will already have the information about the entry of the virus into the cell, so whenever the virus will come into the bodies in future, the cell or the cells or the body is already going to have some immune cells which are going to defend the body from this kind of virus, and the disease will not happen. So that is what is being utilized. So let's just try to understand that what this mRNA technology is. So what the scientists have done in these two types of vaccines is that they have taken this protein. This protein information has been taken from the spike protein only of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, and this has been converted into mRNA. So synthetically, this mRNA has been synthesized from the spike protein. Now this mRNA is what is being administered through the Moderna and the Pfizer inside the bodies of the people. Right. Now in AstraZeneca, if you want to compare, then in AstraZeneca, we were converting this mRNA into DNA, and that DNA was then being integrated into the genome of the chimpanzee's adenovirus, and that is what was being integrated into the cells. Right, that is what was being administered through the vaccine shots. But here we are just converting the spike protein into mRNA. Now, as I've already told you that mRNA is very unstable. Right, so mRNA is very unstable, which makes it very easy to degrade it. And if we will directly inject this mRNA into the body, it will be very easy for the body to degrade it into smaller fragments. And the body's immune response is very effective against it. So the body's immune response, that is the human body immune response, will directly degrade it. And the effect of this mRNA will not be there on the body, and no immune response will be generated for the SARS-CoV-2, and there will be no memory if this is directly injected, right? Because this will not be allowed to enter into the host cell directly, because this is very, very unstable. And second reason is that the body's immune response, human body's immune response, acts immediately against it and it degrades it. So there will be no memory. So what is that strategy which has been utilized for a safe delivery of this mRNA information inside the host cell? This is a very challenging task, right? So for that, what they have done, they have synthesized a lipid nanoparticle. Now, what is a lipid nanoparticle? Lipid nanoparticles, they have been developed as vehicles, right? So it's like a bus which is going to let this mRNA sit into it, and that bus is going to deliver this mRNA inside the host cell safely before it getting degraded outside the cell. So this lipid nanoparticle is acting like a vehicle for the safe delivery of these small molecules, mRNA. So lipid nanoparticles have been very widely used in the field of nanomedicine also. For example, whenever a specific medicine has to be delivered directly into the cells, so these lipid nanoparticles are used there. So what they have done, they have developed this lipid nanoparticle, and inside this lipid nanoparticle, this mRNA has been put. So around this mRNA, there is this protective sheet of lipid nanoparticles. Now, why lipid nanoparticles? As you already know that the cell membrane, it is made up of lipids. And if we surround this mRNA with lipids, then what is going to happen? When this lipid nanoparticle will come in close proximity with the host cell, it is easily going to get merged with it. And when they will get merged with it, because like attracts like, right? So this is like and this is also like, because they both are made up of lipids. So when they will merge with each other, the mRNA will be safely released inside the host cell. So this is the technology that I wanted to discuss. Now, mRNA technology has been in trial for a very long time, and it has been proposed for a very long time that mRNAs should be used as vaccine strategies. And for the very first time, the mRNA has been used in the vaccines. So you can say that Moderna and Pfizer are one of its kind, and it's for the first time that mRNA strategy is being used. So after this mRNA is released inside the host cell, this mRNA utilizes the machinery, the ribosomal machinery of the host cell for the translation purpose. So this mRNA gets translated into the proteins, right? Now, which kind of proteins are formed? Obviously the S protein, because this mRNA was carrying the information from the spike protein of the SARS-CoV-2. So this spike protein is synthesized inside the host cell. Now, this is now an antigen, you know that. So the host detects it, or it recognizes it like an antigen. And after that, what happens? The procedure and the whole mechanism of the antigen presentation and the immune response elicitation, that is exactly the same as it happens in case of the AstraZeneca, but the only difference is hair. So let's just discuss it quickly. So S protein, which has been synthesized into the host cell, this gets degraded, and it is broken down into very tiny molecules. So small molecules are formed from this S protein, and these antigens are then presented on the major histocompatibility complexes. Now, what are major histocompatibility complex? These are the complexes that are responsible for presenting the antigenic molecules on their surface, so that the another class of the important immune cells, the T cells, are able to recognize them and are able to elicit the immune response. So these antigenic molecules, they are broken down into small pieces, and they are presented on the two types of the MHC complexes, the MHC class 1 complexes and the MHC class 2 complexes. The MHC class 2 complexes, they are present on all the antigen presentation cells like the B cells, the macrophages, the dendritic cells, and the MHC 1 molecules. These molecules are present on all the nucleated cells. So when these antigens, they are presented on these MHC molecules, they attract the T cells towards them. So the T cells, they get attracted towards them, and these T cells recognize the antigens that are presented on the MHC complexes, and they lead to the formation of some cytokines. So here on the MHC class 2 molecules, the T helper cells come and make a contact for the recognition of those antigenic molecules through the T cell receptor, and then they are responsible for the release of certain cytokines like interleukin 2, interleukin 4, and interleukin 5. Now these interleukins, or the cytokines, when they are produced, they lead to the proliferation of the B cells, which are now going to convert or differentiate into the plasma cells, which are the cells which are going to create memory inside the host body. Now these B cells, the memory B cells, are responsible for the production of antibodies. Now these antibodies, or the immunoglobulin molecules which are going to be formed by the B cells, they are going to be directed against the spike protein. So these antibodies are formed and they stay there for a very long time, and these antibodies are going to be effective against the SARS-CoV-2. So in future, if the SARS-CoV-2 the coronavirus, if it enters into the host cell, the her body is already going to have a lot of antibodies like these, and they are going to directly target this SARS-CoV-2 and destroy it, because they are going to recognize these spike proteins which are present on the coronavirus, because these antibodies have been designed against these only, as you can see, right? So they will directly recognize that this is the antigen which was presented to the body a long time before when the vaccine was administered in us, and they will recognize this and they will just neutralize and destroy this virus before it can harm the body. Okay. Now the traditional vaccines, they normally contain either the weakened viruses or a purified protein. So the vaccine strategies that are utilizing the technology where the viruses have been weakened are like Covaxin. So Covaxin has been manufactured in India, and it is also utilizing a weakened virus as a source of immune response elicitation. And other than that, if we talk about the Russian vaccine Sputnik, that is also having a weakened virus present in it. But here we are talking about the mRNA vaccine. Okay, so that was it about the Moderna and Pfizer. So it is using the mRNA technology, and for the safe delivery of this mRNA inside the cell, we are using the lipid nanoparticles so that the mRNA doesn't get degraded before it gains entry inside the host cell. Right, so that was it about this video lecture. Thank you.